Hey guys, welcome to the Sean Files. Today we're doing lesson 4, and we're basically just gonna go over. I wrote it down. So, yesterday or last video, we went over animation, and I just quickly showed you the basics of animation. There's some places I could have tightened up on. Obviously, the timing, for instance. I'll show you what I mean by that. So I'm going to click on my blueprint. Actually, my animation blueprint. No, the animation controller. Yes, the animation controller. So, I have it to where I'm giving it 2 seconds to go up. I actually need to time this exactly to how long the animation takes. So you would go back in your Maya file, you'd figure out, or you could look actually in this animation sequence. I'm sure. Yeah, so you could see how many seconds it takes, and then whatever that is, then you're gonna put those seconds on your delay. That way it's timed perfectly. Because yesterday it looked a little choppy. It looked like the animation was moving a little too fast. And that's why. So, today I actually want to create a new scene. We're going to do an open world scene, just for fun. Alright, let's go ahead and save our scene. Babe.
Me, baby. I'm trying to play my games.
Okay. Tutorial. We're gonna do 4 because it's level. We're doing lesson 4 scene. I'm not the best with naming conventions. Naming conventions. Okay. We're in a new scene, but we still have access to all of our actors and our scripts. We're just in a new area now. This would be like a new level. Okay, so I want to. Let's go to our actors. Let's create a new actor. Blueprint class actor, and I want to do ball spawner actor. We're gonna make a ball spawner and click on that, and then I need to do a camera check. Everything looks good. Okay. So what do we want to be the ball spawner? We can make our Sphinx the ball spawner. Never mind. I didn't. Oh yeah. Okay, let me teach you something new. So we can actually add an actor to this blueprint that we've already made. We have an actor. So I'm going to go to Child's. Where are you? Child actor. I'm going to add that in. And then I'm going to pull up my Sphinx that I already made. And it's going to have all of the mechanics that the other Sphinx that we made has. I'm just going to write it in there. Am I spelling it right? Yeah, here we go. I should have named it something more detailed and obvious, but oh well. Okay, I don't really like this box collision. I'm gonna go back to my original actor. I'm gonna make this smaller. You can only change things on the child actor, on the actor's blueprint. But it will change the actor also on your parent script. So now the ball spawner is holding my Sphinx child actor. Alright, so let's go to our ball spawning script. We're going to rename this guy ball spawner. Alright, in order to spawn balls, we need to create balls. So let's go back to our content drawer, and we are going to create another actor. Called ball. BP. And then add a sphere. Add a sphere collision. And then make sure that's child under this mesh. And then make sure it is the size of the ball. We're going to be using this later so that it, you know, when it triggers something, something can happen. We need to simulate physics on the ball. We need to block all dynamic. Wherever that is. So right here under collision presets, block all dynamic. We're going to create a physics material. So in your content drawer, right click, go to physics material, click on physics material, select, and now name it ball bounce. Now these are the presets that we're going to use to make it bouncy. I forgot exactly which thing we changed to make it bouncy. So okay, so we're going to change the restitution to 1 and then save it. And then go back to your ball, and then we're going to change the physics material to ball bounce, and go ahead and save that, and then go to ball spawner. And then we're going to go to the event graph, and on tick for now, we'll just go on tick, actually create a custom event. call it ball spawner, or ball spawn, and go to spawn actor from class. Then we want to select the ball actor, and we need a place where we're actually spawning it. So we want to spawn it wherever the our ball spawner is. So we're gonna drag that over, and then we're gonna drag a pin and type in get world's location, and you could also get world rotation. And so what that does is it gets the location of your ball spawner and the rotation of it, and it's going to spawn it at that location. Doesn't look like it even gives me a we'd probably do a set rotation. We don't have to do this, but if we want to, we could set actor rotation to whatever the rotation was of the ball spawner, and then also we're getting the location of the ball spawner and then transferring that over to the spawn actor ball, the ball, sorry. So sorry, I didn't say that right. The ball is going to spawn at the location of the ball spawner child actor, and at the rotation. Okay, so what was I gonna do? I just had it. Oh yeah. If we wanted a little offset, then what we would do is we would split this struct, and we would split this struct, and then now they're separated. Actually, looks like we do have a place for this rotation, so we'd actually do that. And then we need to split this struct again, and then now we can individually tie these in. So if I wanted this to be like a little offset, like on the Y, I would right click and then go to the add operator, and then I would, if I wanted like some distance, like maybe 10, and then I would attach that to my Y, and then so now there's like, it's gonna be like a little off spawning the ball. It's not gonna spawn it directly where my ball spawner is, but just a little bit offset. So I told you that we were gonna go over, you know, the nodes and the variables components of instant operators. So we will do that. Just to since we're kind of working on the operators right now, I'll show you some of them. So we have add, we have subtract, we have multiply, we have divide, we have other things too that we want to go over, like the not boolean, the ands. There's the ands. The and is a really useful one. Here it is, the and bool, or the or. We'll go over all of these things. But these are pretty obvious. Like, you could subtract, you could multiply, you could divide, you could create like a bunch of math to find out, you know, the exact or location that you desire, and then we'll go over this later. Or we'll go over it actually in a minute. So let's go ahead and pull this out and bring this over to tick so we can test it. I actually want to put a delay in between so it's just not spawning constantly. That there's like some time in between each spawning. Alright, now we're going to test our actor. Our ball spawner. So now push play. Alright, now it's spawning balls. And they're bouncing a little bit. They're not big bouncers, are they? We can work on that. But they are bouncing. It's funny that she's shooting it from the back. It's like she's having X. Let's see if we can interact with these balls. Yeah, see, they have physics. So we're able to like run into them. I want to say like when we run into them, they change colors. That would be fun. Let's go to the ball. And then take the ball collision. Say begin overlap. If we're overlapping them and it's my player, that's overlapping them, then I want you to change, I want you to set the material of my sphere, which is right here. It's the same thing as this. And I want you to change it to blue. It has a warning. It's not inherent from actor. Let me just test this real quick. Yeah. Alright, cast to first person. I believe it wants me to add it as a variable. Let's try that. Actually, I'm going to do this because it will automatically promote it. No. Cast. Why? First person animation does not inherit from actor. Alright, how I would go around this is I would change this to actor. Change variotype. Go to get player of class. This is how you would cast to other scripts or actors. Good player of class. That way you can interact with them. Sorry. Get actor of class. Sorry. Get actor of class. And then we're gonna go to the first person player, which is our player character, whatever character that you created. And drag this over and hit and go to set and connect those. And then you're gonna have cast to first person, not that. Cast to first person character, connect that, and then now over here we're gonna say we're gonna get a branch. So branches are important to know. They check a condition on a Boolean. And we're going to say if this actor equals if this other actor equals this actor, then execute the code right here. Which should be we don't actually need that there. Alright, so let's test it. Yeah. I didn't realize I picked blue. I thought I picked yellow. But it works. So now when I run into those box collisions, it changes the colors of the ball. Now I could add a score. I could make a score counter. So let's do that real quick. So let's create a blueprint, call it actor, call it score keeper. BP. And then we're going to add a variable. And we're going to call the variable we're going to make it an integer, and we're going to call it score. And we're going to make it public. Alright, so now I want to add a text. A text render. And this is going to be, go over here to text and change it to 0, 0. Because it's going to be our score. And you can change it to whatever color you want. Bring that into our scene. Doesn't look like it's too big, so I'm gonna make it bigger. You can make it bigger on the actor itself. I just made it bigger in the scene. But you probably want to make it bigger on the actor. It's probably best practice. Okay, so there we go. There's our score. I want our score to change whenever we add points. have to remember what it is. Set text. And we need to create a variable called text or string. I think text. We're gonna, this is gonna be the, actually that's not, yeah, we don't want that. Let's delete that. So it's actually gonna be this. So we're gonna set the score to text. And it's gonna be updating on real time, so for now we're putting it on tick. Even though we don't like things on tick, I'm doing this to kind of just, because it's faster, and I'm just trying to show you a concept. So now it's setting the score to the thing, and to its correct score, which is 0. And now how are we going to add up the score? Well, we're going to add up the score every time we run into a ball. So over here on our ball actor blueprint, every time we do this, we're also going to, we're going to separate this and make this into a custom event real quick. And call it, I don't know, add to score. So behind here, we're gonna, and you might want to separate, make this like, you might want to do this. Have this be like custom events. Set material. And then rename it so you can copy it. So you can pull it up. And then have that connected to this guy. So that's just separated. And then you could like, you know, put set material. And then this would be like add score. But like this is all like when ball is in, or ball pickup. Alright, so we want to add the score. So what we do is we're going to have to cast, we're going to have to basically do this again. And we put it on the begins. The begin, what this does is that before your game begins, it will run whatever action this is behind it once. And then on update, on tick, it's always updating it all the time. So right now we just need to cast to it once. That's why we're doing it on the begin. So we're gonna get actor of class, and you could copy and paste. You could copy it and paste it, and then put in the correct blueprint. But I'm just gonna pull it up just to show you again. So we're pulling up the score counter or keeper, and then we're gonna create a variable called scorekeeper actor. And we're gonna set it, and then we're gonna cast to scorekeeper actor class, and then, or not class, sorry, cast to scorekeeper BP. And then over here we're gonna get the integer right here, score, that is on the scorekeeper BP. So over here, we're going to go drag it over and we're going to write in score. And it's got to be under the scorekeeper BP. And we're going to set the score. We're also going to get the score. So do that as well. So score under scorekeeper BP, get score. And then we got to hook these up to the cast. And you can also click on this blue line to create this little dot, which you can then attach so that it makes your script a little cleaner. There's other options that you could do to make this better. Like you could organize it in such a way where the lines aren't like, you don't want spaghetti coded, in other words. You don't want the lines like going all over the place. You want kind of a method going on, something like that. There's little tricks. Other people are better at it than I am, but there's ways to do it to where it's a lot neater. Remember, there's Q to line it up. You can also line up these dots as well. They do line up also. So we're going to connect the score. Actually, do we connect that yet? Hang on, let me think. So we're getting the score. What we're going to do is actually we're going to add. So go to your add operator. And we're going to add 1 to whatever. So we're getting the score, whatever it is, and we're adding 1 to it. And then setting the score to whatever, excuse me, whatever that number is. So let's go ahead and rename this so that, not actually rename it, but copy it so we can pull it up. And then we're going to bring that over to this guy. We're only going to do it once. We can do that on here because we're only doing it once on each ball. So this script is on every ball that comes out, so it's okay if we do it just once. There's going to be some scripts where you're going to want to start the once over again with this reset by creating a custom event that you call at some point that resets this. But we're not going to do that right now. That's going to be later on. Let's go ahead and test. Let's look at our score. Our score works, yay. Okay, I actually want to see it working in real time. Alright, so now every time we run into the balls, it's counting. And we could also go to the balls and we could destroy them. So destroy actor self. And let's put a little delay on it. That way it gives it time to send the information to the scorekeeper. Alright, we're going to destroy the actor after it gets the score, but we're going to put a little delay on it so that it gives it enough time to send the information. So now just see how that works. if you go back, you can look at the event graph, and this is the code that we have written. It is very messy. You might want to clean it up. Some ways you can do that is by highlighting it and pressing Q, and it will line everything up. And then you can just kind of move things so that you can see them better. That way, it's not so messy, and other people, if you're collaborating, can read your scripts more easily. I'm naturally pretty messy. It's just a part of having ADHD, but I work on it. So yeah, Q, highlight Q, highlight. It won't line up if they're not connected, so these didn't line up. But if I were to connect them, then they would. And they kind of overlap, so you kind of have to spread them out again. But anyway, that's just a way to like keep things cleaner. You can also create comment boxes, which would separate some things. Like how I did that is I highlighted, I pressed C, and now I can type what this is to myself so I understand. So this script is in charge of destroying the object. So that way I can like organize it, and now I can move the whole thing. So like this is make invisible or visible. And now I can move that over like here. And then, so yeah, you would just basically group these into sections as you need them. You can even, double comment it. So I could like group all of these together. And now I could like say like these are all for like, destroying the object. Which is not really the case because some of these aren't. But you get the point. I hope. If you don't understand everything, you're not going to, the thing is, when I first was exposed to any of these things in game design, it did not click right away, and it just looked like an alien language to me. It took, and then practice, and then with time and energy and dedication, then you eventually would just click, and then it becomes more fun and still challenging, but more on the fun side than the painful side. And okay, so let's get back to our stuff. So we can I could like bring things over. This is not organized at all. I am not organizing this with any thought to it. I don't know what these sections are, but I'm just showing you that you can basically just group these together as you need them to do, as you need to do that, or whatever. Okay. So now it looks a lot neater. There's still so much more I could do to make it better, but whatever. I could title these correctly based on the functions. I could organize them based on what they actually do and group them together. That way I can like find the sections very easily. Anyway, so you just play around with it. a lot of what I'm giving you, play around with it yourself, figure out what works for you. I don't I doubt that everything I'm doing, I know for sure that everything I'm doing is, a lot of it's not best practice, just because I am self-taught. A lot of the stuff I figured out on my own. I'm sure as I learn with experience and being around other developers that are willing to help, I'll learn more, and I'll learn, and as that, trial and error and messing up, I will gain more, better practices basically, and so will you. So, I personally have to learn the hard way, for me to get it in my head to stop, cutting corners, or, I I'm not a technical person. I'm an artist. I went into game design thinking that I'd do the art and design side of things, and then I fell in love with coding. So I do C Sharp, Python, and blueprinting and Unreal. Eventually, I want to learn C++. Um, I love coding, and I love it even more than the art side of game design, which I never thought would ever be the case. I thought I would run from, from coding, but it's my favorite, and it doesn't come natural for me. I am naturally right-brained and an artist, and but I've learned that I'm actually I'm creative, and I always figure it out. Like, it always eventually works. The more energy and time I throw at it. So, and the more I learn, the faster I get to the solution. But I kind of approach coding like art. I kind of like painting. I kind of go into a zone, a trance, and I just start creating, and for some reason somehow it works usually, or maybe like one or two things are off, but just with a little bit of problem solving I fix those things, and then it works, and it's like, how did I do that? I think the more you learn, it becomes like that. It becomes kind of like a language where you're writing, and it just flows out of you, instead of it feeling like such a headache or a migraine like it does in the beginning when you're learning it. But it's fun. It's fun, and then the more you learn, the more capabilities you have, the more power you have to create whatever you want, and it's exciting to learn new things. So I don't know if I am offering you guys anything new to the table. You might already know a lot of these things, but who knows, maybe you don't. So it doesn't hurt for me to throw it out there.